So we have taken our UN data and loaded it into working memory in R in the form of an object called a data frame, and we have named that object with the variable UN data. And so now that we have our UN data variable, we can start passing that variable to functions. First off, just to see what's inside of it. And a very common function that you'll use when you want to examine the contents of a data set is the head function. So if I type in head and then parentheses and then type in UN data and press enter, it shows me by default the first 6 rows of the data object called UN data. Now you'll notice in that command I did not have to type the quotation marks around UN data because it's not a text string from R's perspective. I'm just giving it the name of a data object. Now suppose I want to have a different number of rows returned by the head command than 6. I can actually look for the look at the help file for head directly, and instead of searching for a text string like head with the double question marks, I can just enter a single question mark and type in head, and I will get the documentation for the head command. Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit. We're familiar with some of what's going on right here. Here's a bunch of different permutations of the head and tail command. What I'm interested in is this argument in down here, which is a single integer that will state the size of the object returned by the head command. I want my, by default n is equal to 6 as we just saw, but I want n to be equal 20 to 20 to show me the first 20 rows of my UN data frame. So I can type in head, UN data, and then do comma for my next argument and do n equals 20. And it will give me the first 20 rows of the UN data frame. Now, it's always important to take a look at the data, but what if I want to learn something a little bit more fundamental about the data frame? Like, for example, what are the types of columns I'm looking at? Is it number? Is it text? And or even what type of object it is. I don't actually know that this is a data frame from the head command. If I want a more sophisticated insight into the details of my data object, I'm going to need the command that you're going to learn in the next lesson.